Here we have oolong tea. Straight from China. Oh, produced in Hawaii. It's a Chinese substance. The oolong tea has a flavor different than coffee. I can tell that it's different than coffee. And the reason I can tell this because it has a shape. The shape must exist in 3 dimensions. On the board, I can make 2 dimensions, an X and a Y, and I can kind of show you 3 dimensions of a Z. Your mind has to kind of create that. This is a 3-dimensional thing. But in the real world, things have 3 dimensions, and that's how I tasted the shape. The oolong tea has a 3-dimensional length, width, breadth existence. It hits the shape receptors in my tongue and my nose, and I'm able to then detect its existence. And I say, oh, that's not coffee, because coffee has a different shape. Now, to reduce this substance to one frequency, which most of the other types of people are doing in energetic medicine, is complete bastardization, because one frequency or one dimension cannot capture a 3-dimensional shape. I have a height, I have a width, and I have a breadth. If you just knew one dimension of me, just my height, if all you knew and all you saw was just one dimension, one simple line that you knew, and no colors in the line, just one simple line, you would not be able to tell it's me. Reducing things to one frequency is ludicrous. Now, it's okay because it is a measure, just like my height is a measure. So it is a very limited form of technology. But in our analysis of homeopathy, we had to go beyond the vast limitations, the incredible backwardness of dealing with one frequency, and get into a 3-dimensional area, looking at the homeopathics in a 3-dimensional space. Now, there's an entire journal that we did by measuring the capacitance and the inductance and the conductance, what we call the trivector. The 3 electrical factors that hold this dimensional shape of the oolong tea or the coffee or the blood or whatever we have. There's an electrical factor, we call it chemistry. We talk about the quantic levels, etc. There's an energy that holds this type of shape and processes this. And this is done in a 3-dimension. Now, homeopathy stores this 3-dimensional shape into the water molecules. We have an entire journal dedicated to this analysis. We have a system called the QQC, or Quantum Quality Control, where we can access and measure that shape. We can find out the energy states that exist in this. Now, when we take a look at this, as you can do in another journal article developed towards understanding the QQC, you'll see the different shapes the different homeopathics will have. Now, of course, they're in a coded process so that we don't have all of our secrets just blurted out on a piece of paper. But we can see that this exists in a shape. Belladonna has a specific shape that when it touches certain shape receptors in my nasal pharynx, it produces certain events. This is known as the homeopathy effect. The pharmacological effect of belladonna is it makes you red as a beet, dry as a bone, and mad as a hatter. Now, when the shape of belladonna is stored in water and alcohol, and it comes in, the human brain says, oh, I see that's the shape of belladonna. Let's prepare for belladonna. Let's turn on our anti-redness, anti-dryness, anti-madness device. Now we're starting to explain homeopathy. We have to recognize that as we're going to deal with homeopathy, as we're going to deal with these things, we must transcend the old-fashioned viewpoint of the one frequency. In our trivector QQC, we're going to measure 22 X's, 22 Y's, and 22 Z's, giving us over 8,000 different mathematics, 8,000 vibrational levels, generating a 3-dimensional picture that will tell us about its 3-dimensional shape. And this type of information is stored into the computer because it's easily done with the computer. And it allows us to then challenge the body with a three-dimensional. So what we have done is we have gone past the one frequency rating for just coffee, and we've gone into an 8,000 three-dimensional picture. This is called an advancement in technology. And as we make an advancement in technology, mediocre minds will see the new technology as a threat. Great spirits will see the new technology as a challenge, as an opportunity. So I hope you can understand that we need to go past this one frequency and go into a three-dimensional analysis of the shape.